What's going on, world? It's your boy Steve Dad 317 back with yet another episode. And listen, it is actually a weekday and I'm in a track hawk. That is something you almost never see, but I've got a I've had to redesign a couple of plans and things like that, getting ready for Wham. We are Mopar car show down in Texas, just outside of Fort Worth or whatever, like Roanoke, Texas or something like that. But anyways, getting set up for that, and I'm about to mix it up a little bit. I'm about to do something special. I was going to put this off until next year, but I'm headed over to a shop to kind of figure out how we can work out these details, and hopefully I can get everything I want to get done, knocked out before the car show. Now, in terms of the music, I don't know if I talked about this or not, but initially I had a subwoofer system I was going to get installed back here. It's gonna bring a little bit of drama, right? A lot of drama, honestly. But the issue I ran into was that, like, I don't want to ride the 26s all the way to Texas, so I want to put my factories on here, and I couldn't find anybody else who was going to transport my wheels for me. I thought about using my Ram 1500 and just hauling the truck down there, but then I was like, that's really doing too much. So as of right now, I am going to put a halt on the whole music situation, and then I'll probably have to get that installation done once I get back from this car show, if I even get it done at all, because, you know, I want to travel to some other car shows. I rode the 6s up to like Chicago for Midwest, for the Midwest Connection car show. It was a cool ride, but I mean, I couldn't really drive the way I wanted to drive. So I don't know, we'll see. We'll kind of see what comes about. Anyways, let me get over here to the shop and I'll keep y'all posted. All right, so yeah, again, I can't tell y'all a ton, but if you pay close enough attention, you will kind of sort of get an idea what's about to happen. But you just got to pay attention. It's one of those, if you know, you know. I'm going to start vlogging. You're welcome. Y'all see that Suburban right there? Listen, I kid you not, only stuff like this happens in my life apparently, but I am headed over to my next appointment, meeting up with somebody over off Pendleton Pike, and that lady who I just passed in that Suburban, she was leaving, I guess, the laundromat. The back of her Suburban wasn't all the way closed, so she turned the corner on the Pendleton Pike, boom, and a laundry basket falls out into the street. So I see it. I was going north on, what is that, Franklin or something? I don't know, whatever street. Anyways, so I made a right on Pendleton Pike. I seen it fall out, so I'm like, you know what? I'll bust a U-turn and go back here and help her out. So I went back to go pick it up, and as I make the U-turn, I'm turning the corner. Another lady jumps out her car like a Kia Soul or something, takes the basket, throws it in the back, and pulls off. So I'm like, okay, when she turns the corner on Pendleton Pike, she's gonna pull into the parking lot where the other lady is. She must know her. So then all of a sudden I noticed she's still pushing north on Pendleton Pike, or northeast or whatever. So she's still pushing it. So I'm like, all right. I start speeding up. She starts speeding up. Now I just left for another shop, so I am in a track hawk today. So needless to say, I was able to catch up with her. So she's doing like 65. I catches up with her at a light. No, I catch up with her, and then we both stop at a light. I'm sitting up there blowing the horn. She doesn't want to turn her head. So I'm, everybody else around is looking at me. So finally she rolls her window down. I'm like, hey, are you go give that lady her basket back? She's like, oh, no, I didn't see it fall. It was just in the street, so I was just picking it up because it was in the middle. I was like, yeah, the lady, she's sitting back here in that parking lot where the Hardee's and Rent Center used to be or whatever. So she was like, she's like, oh, yeah, on my way back, I'll drop it off and set it on the curb. I'm like, but she's over there right now. Like, if you want, I can help. I can take it back down there, but I know whose vehicle it is. Well, I know the truck it came out of or whatever. She's like, oh, okay, what do you want me to do? I was like, pull over and give me the basket. So she pulls over, gives me the basket or whatever. And how do I put, like, I don't want to sound too over stereotypical, but like, I would be willing to bet a sizable amount of money that she was on meth. I mean, a sizable amount of money. Like, yeah. So anyways, so she, you know, gives me the basket or whatever. I'm like, hey, no, you know, have a good day or whatever. And So anyways, I fly back down. I see the lady. She's still sitting there. I think she's on the phone with somebody. So I hit the horn. I'm like, wait, don't go nowhere. Pull around, and gave her basket. So I guess that's my little hero story of the day, or more importantly, my giving back story of the day. You know, it's one of those, I've got a flex schedule. When there's an opportunity for me to do something that maybe can benefit somebody else, like I do try to do it. Granted, it's just a laundry basket. I don't know if anything in there has sentimental value or whatever, her current situation, but yeah. So anyways, that was that. I'm headed to another appointment and I'll be right back. Man, look at that color. All right, so I am officially back in the dungeon, and hey, I don't think I've showed you guys any progress in this room, if you even want to call it progress at this point. Slowly but surely, I've been coming over, getting a little bit of stuff done. You can see I got the trim around the doors. The floor is fully laid in here. Fireplace is now whitewashed and painted white. We left the trim at the top brown. Ceilings painted white and agreeable gray on the walls because I can't see colors well, which makes it a pretty easy go to. Today I'm probably about to run to the store, grab some more electrical boxes, well, not electrical boxes, but electrical switches and outlets, things like that, covers, get that knocked out. And then moving on to the kitchen, you can see I got all the flooring laid except for right here along this edge, where I'm headed to go pick up a 12 foot by 8 inch piece of wood to run along there, glue it, then I'll run the flooring, the laminate vinyl plank flooring. I think this is what, 7 millimeters thick. Look, it's some really nice flooring. You can see that. I know it's dusty, but tongue and groove. So I will finish that last piece and then run this other roll, cut it, run it even with the board or close to even with the board, and then finish it off. But that is basically where I am. As soon as I get that knocked out, it's just a little fine-tuned touches. You can see that vent cover up there. It's in the garage. I remember when I was moving stuff around, I saw it. A couple of doors to paint, and then yeah, that's pretty much it for here. At least in terms of the big things. So look, I know I've been all over the place today, but and I know I talk a lot about how I like the minivan more than I like the Trackhawk. I'll show you one of the reasons why. I am, as you know, working on rehabbing that house, and I need to go pick up a. Give me a second. Put this seat down into the floor. See how easy that is? I need to go pick up a piece of wood that is 12 feet by 8 inches. Now my pickup truck has like a 6.5 foot bed or whatever, the rim. So as a result, I cannot get a full sheet of wood in there and have my tailgate up. So what do? Pull out my handy dandy van, stow away the seats. The back is already half done. This seat probably won't matter. So yeah, we're headed off to the store to get to the hardware store to get some stuff. You know, when you have kids, you literally everywhere there's like stuff like this everywhere. Anyways, yeah, headed off to the hardware store to pick up these supplies and stuff and get back to rehabbing. GoPro, stop recording. Hey, so real quick on my way to the hardware store, I just wanted to touch bases on a couple of things. And basically, I'm gonna touch bases on this because I know years ago, like I would have had I would have wondered like how people do some of the things they do. And you know, like I always say, I try to be fully transparent on my page. So one of the things you may notice is that I have an extremely flexible schedule. You know, like for example, today, literally, I worked for 30 minutes today, and all the rest of my day has been either spending time with family or vlogging, you know, working on this YouTube channel, or taking care of some stuff I'm trying to do with the Trackhawk. That oddly enough, one moment I'm tired of it, the next moment I'm like, hey, I could do X, Y, and Z. So who knows where I'm going to go with that? I don't even know, honestly. So you'll be learning almost as soon as I find out what I'm going to do. But basically what I'm getting to is like, I have a very flexible schedule, and that's how I'm able to, you know, during midday when a lot of people may be at work or things like that. That gives me a lot of ability to maneuver around, go meet up with people. I had to meet up. Well, I don't really want to disclose who all I met up with today, but I had a couple important meetings today. All of them were automobile related thus far. But basically, when it's all said and done with, I would say that I would attribute a great deal of it to, one, being a business owner, which is, it's got its pros and cons. I mean, definitely one of the pros is an extremely flexible schedule. So like, if you have kids or something, as they have events coming up in school, things like that, you know, that's a major pro, which is probably the reason why I've yet to go back to being employed somewhere else. I know it's not for everybody, but if it is for you, that's just something else. Maybe that will give you a little bit more fuel, you know, a little bit more drive to remind why you're grinding the way you're grinding. Because early on, it's an absolute grind. Definitely the first 2 or 3 years, like, odds are you're going to be hardcore grinding. You know, I've kind of made it past that point in two of my businesses, maybe 3. I've got a lot of things going on, but like in 2 or 3 businesses, I've got past that point, and then I have a couple of businesses that are fairly new, like my mobile home investing business. That one hasn't been around for 3 years yet, so I'm still growing that. I spent a lot of time and energy towards that. Not as much as I should, but you know, that's another story. But like, between that and then the real estate thing, with the way that I do it, and I'm not like constantly flipping houses, but I do it often enough that I can afford to cover like our annual household expenses through real estate. You know, and what's significant about that is like, I could definitely get out there and be a lot more aggressive and do a ton more. It's just, it's not the way I want to spend my time right now. So I tend to move at a pace where I'm certain that by year's close, I'll generate enough to pay for the entire next calendar year. I kind of look at it off a calendar year basis. You know, and sometimes I get more aggressive and I focus more on trying to grow my wife and I's nest egg. And, you know, sometimes there's things that I want and then I'll grind a bit harder to achieve those. But like for me, it's always about trying to find a balance between, yeah, because I know money's not everything, and I know that when I die I can't take it with me, but I also want to be in a position where I can help other people, and both related to me and not related to me. So all that being said, I try to find a balance. I don't want to grind so hard. You know, you get some people who say like work every day, no days off and all this. I've been there, done that, and you know what that did? That led me to the world of anxiety. You know, before that point, I never in my life had anxiety attacks. Overall pretty, I guess we all have ups and downs in life, but never to the point where I had anxiety attacks until I started working every day and working around the clock from like 4:35 a.m. to like 1 a.m. the next day. So like I was way overdoing it. I thought that grinding hard was the way to go, and it is, but I think it's probably more important that you learn how to grind smart. Right? Grinding hard is important, but when you learn how to grind smart, you realize you don't have to grind as hard to get the same or a similar result, right? And then once you start looking at those different components, you got to look at the element of, how do I value my time? Because when it's all said and done with, like, time is you and I, all of us, time is the most valuable non-renewable asset there is, period. Bro, like, you doing this all wrong, man. What are you doing, fam? Tripping. So time, think about it. Time is our most valuable non-renewable asset. Like money, I can always make more money. Like literally, there's not a day that I wake up where I don't have the potential to generate more income. You know what I mean? So I'm not head over heels for it. You know, I definitely want to make sure I can keep bills and things paid, but it's not the end of the world. But I also think that as I, as well as you, as we all continue to progress and accumulate more assets over time, we just start looking at things differently. So like, if your viewpoints are different than mine when it comes to finances, like that doesn't make you wrong at all. That just means like where you are in your life or what's relevant to you, it makes perfect sense. I mean, I remember a point in time where I had somebody tell me that front, I'm gonna clean it up because I try to have a clean channel. But basically, he said that front stuff is punk stuff. You know, and basically what he was getting at is like, don't let nobody front you nothing. Don't do no double ups. Basically, you pay out of pocket for everything. That way, nobody in your pocket. If something go wrong, you know what I mean. You figure out how to get back on or whatever. And like, for a long time, I believed that, and based off where I was in my life, it made good sense. You know, and now I've gotten to a point where, well, everything, maybe not everything, but most things, I look to see if I can finance them. I look to see if I can make purchases spending other people's money. That's the name of the game. You know, even oftentimes when there's something that I consider paying off. Give me 1 second. Parking spot up here waiting on me. But when there's things that I consider paying off, it's kind of one of those things like, do I spend my money and tie it up to pay something off, especially when you get into the things that are relatively expensive, or do I go ahead and pay a little bit for a low interest rate to finance it when I know that I can utilize the money that I didn't spend and generate a rate of return that supersedes or exceeds the interest rate I'm paying. So in short, let's say I'm gonna get an interest rate on a loan for a vehicle. We'll use this Silverado next to me. Let's say if I wanted that Silverado and they were like, hey, you know what? We'll loan it to you at 4% interest rate, right? So 4% is absolutely fine. Let's say if I wanted, or whatever, let's say 4%. And let's say that and I don't know what Silverado's called. Let's say it was $50,000, right? So I could pay cash for it, or we'll assume I could pay cash for it, right? And $50,000 will be going out of my pocket. But if I knew that I could take that $50,000 and invest it in, let's say, the stock market right now, and I knew that I can turn 7%, right? So that 7% exceeds that 4% that I'm paying out, and I know that I can turn that on a regular basis. Then for me, I would rather go ahead and finance it, right, instead of paying cash and use my cash and have it work for me doing other things. So that's kind of what goes into a lot of the decisions that I make. And again, that's not something that I always did. This is kind of a point that I eventually grew to. And again, I don't know it all. There may be another level. I may get to a point sometime in life where I realize, you know what, it's just not worth my while financing anything. I got a cousin who's done very well for himself, and I remember he had purchased a condo, and I was asking like, hey, why would you pay cash for it? And where it was like I want to say it was like a $1.2 million purchase. And like, you know, I would just ask him like, you know, why would you pay cash for it? You could just finance it, and you could take but he's made it to a point in life where it's more convenient and I don't know if I want to say efficient, but it's definitely more convenient for him to go ahead and make an aggressive cash offer, get the property he wants, not spend a ton of time, you know, dealing with a lot of other things. And with where his accounts are currently and his other investments, he's generating income at a rate that the money he could save from not paying interest, like it's not going to move his bank account, if that kind of makes sense. You know, like I said, I don't want to go too deep into his specific numbers, which I don't even know all of his numbers because I haven't asked him. I'm trying to ask people any questions like that. But this conversation just came up. I asked him why he didn't finance. But basically, in short, he was explaining to me like, it's easier for me to just pay cash, be done with it. And he's at a point where, you know, a $10, $20, $30, $40, $50,000 difference isn't a game changer, you know. So that's what I meant about it's different levels in life. Now where I am right now, I'm looking to finance everything because 10, 20, 30, 40, $50,000, I guess I would say that's a significant amount. That's a significant amount to me. Yeah, you know, you take, I don't know, Bill Gates, what's $50,000 to him? It maybe not nearly as significant as it is to me. It might be the equivalent to him losing $1 or so. I don't know, you know. But that's what I mean about the game being different. But I'm here at the store, the hardware store. Let me go in here and get this stuff, and I'll be back in a minute. So yeah, like I said, one of the reasons why I love the van so much, you can see I've got these 8-foot runs right here. I actually ended up getting 2 8-foot. I needed 12 feet total of this MDF, but I got 2 8-foot runs because I wasn't 100% sure I can get to a 12-footer in here. I felt like if I played the angles right, I probably could, but this was a lot easier. And with the XS, I'll find a way of using that. So actually, you know what? I can think of one very specific reason that I dislike the minivan. This might be the only reason, but I was driving, quick story. I was driving south of Meridian. I know the fair was going on, whenever that was. So the Indiana State Fair. So I'm driving south. A car is like in the lane next to me, whatever. I'm not paying him much attention. It's a chick and a guy it's like a crossover or something. But anyways, in the vehicle was a chick and a guy in there, and as they're riding by, they end up giving me the middle finger. Like, she leans her arm out the window, flips me off, gives me the middle finger. And at first I was like, you know what, it's cool, I ain't gonna worry about it. But I don't know, I had a moment, maybe a moment of weakness, I don't know. But so they went over, and this is right before Cashman, they jumped into the turning lane, right? So the turning lanes right there are so wide, there was enough space for another vehicle to get on the side of their car and not, I may or may not have been halfway in their lane, halfway in the next lane, but I was able to squeeze a minivan in there. I'm like, yo, you got something you want to say to me? She's like, nah, didn't nobody say nothing to you. Dude in the driver's seat, he's like, what? You know, like tough guy voice, right? So I'm already on edge anyways. I'm already on 100. So I'm like, do either one of y'all got anything to say to me? No, I didn't say anything to you, right? So boom, the light, oh wait, so the light turns green. The traffic to go straight, they had a green light, but the turn arrow was green also. So they hit the gas, got in front of the other cars, flipped me off again. Now, you have no idea how bad I wanted to punch it in the mini sminny and catch up with them. And I don't know what I was gonna do, honestly, but like I was that pissed off in that moment, and I don't even know why I allowed road rage to get me to that extent. That's something I need to work on. But long story short, minivan didn't have a chance. They were gone. Cars started going. And if I was in a Jeep, I would have been on them. I guarantee I would have been on them, because that's where my mind was at that moment. But anyways, I figured I would share that quick story. I'm not saying this to say this is how you should respond to road rage or people flipping you off, because that's not the correct response. But if anything to take away from this is, one, the minivan maybe isn't absolutely perfect, and two, neither am I. I'm a human, I make mistakes, you know, like I always say, I want to be transparent on the page. Sometimes I get it right, sometimes I get it wrong. But hey, I'm blessed and thankful every day that I get to live to see another day like this guy running this light. Oh boy. All right, I've got to get this stuff over to the house and get the little bit of work done I'm gonna get done there, and then I will be back yet again. Oh yeah, they dogging. See, man, they, you know what? Fools, blah, blah. You know that Adam Sandler movie? That's where I feel like I am right now. I gotta take I am pretty. Wait, is that it? I feel pretty and happy. And anyways, hey, look, Steve Dab, I'll be back. All right, well, another busy day rolling with the times. As you can see, I've got snack pack kick stuff. So y'all know where I had to go grocery shopping and do some other family stuff. So I am just now actually getting inside the house. Let me get some lights on. Hold on. No, wrong switch. There we go. That'll be fine there. So yeah, like I said, I'm just now getting inside the house, about to there we go, a couple more lights. Yep, about to shut this garage down and get it in, put in a little bit of work, try to make some progress. And then after that, actually, you know what? I'm going to wrap this episode up, because I've already kind of revealed what I've got going on, at least a hint towards it. Tomorrow, I'll probably come back with some more footage of some other stuff, give you a few more details, and then we'll go from there. Hey, thanks for watching, Steve Dab. Thanks for subscribing. Do me a favor, make sure you like this post. Make sure you comment. It doesn't really matter what you say. I just needed to hit the algorithm, show that there's some interactions, so I start getting more visibility. And I'll see you next time. Peace.